What's good, YouTube? I know I've been gone for a while. I had caught a cold on Christmas, made a video, and then got sick later that night. So we're gonna talk about the topic of the day is gonna be Tyreke Evans. I'm a guy that I played basketball, NBA, and Tyreke Evans was a guy when I was coming up that a lot of people didn't really know about. A lot of people didn't know how good he was. Obviously, you have the NBA heads like me that knew how he was in college and high school, but the casual fan don't follow basketball. They mostly know when it's on a televised game like on Christmas or when it's on Channel 12 in the playoffs. The big games that everybody talk about, and Tyreke Evans never was part of any of those games. Neither did he play with organizations that had those type of games. And he was in Sacramento, so obviously they don't get that much TV. And then he obviously went over to New Orleans, and they don't get that much TV either. And now he's in Memphis, and they get more TV, but we didn't expect Tyreke Evans to have this much playing time. I told you guys that it was a good pickup for the Memphis Grizzlies because I was going based off how I've seen them play. That's why I brought up that story because Tyreke Evans, I told people he'll win Rookie of the Year. He ended up averaging 20 points a game that year in 5 rebounds and assists. He was one of the only couple players that had did that, and he did it for the whole season. And he has regressed every season at that point where you think that a guy averaging 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists on 45% shooting will only get better. But as they drafted more players, he had gotten injured and he never learned how to shoot and space out the floor. He got a little comfortable with his game, never adjusted, added more weapons to the repertoire, and he just became a solid defender. He's a big guy for the point guard position at that time, but he was lanky. He was super athletic, so he gave a lot of people trouble defensively too. And the guy can just score at will. If you give him a little space, if he gets that first step, he's going by you and he's landing up or dunking or getting to the free throw line. And he had his bread and butter figured out quick in the NBA because I didn't know he'd be that good to average 20 points, even though he was on a bad team and he could put up a lot of stats because the team was trash and they needed him to score a lot. But for Tyreke Evans to come out of college and do that on the NBA level, that was impressive. But like I said, the sad part about that was people start earning respect and other point guards started speaking out about him, and we thought that he had come out and become an NBA star. If you average in those numbers, that's what we gonna expect. Like, hey, you can do that your rookie year, you should get better every season. But he didn't, and he ended up getting traded. I mean, he ended up going around other places, playing the small forward position, playing the shooting guard position, and now in Memphis, he's back to the ball handling duties. Even when he was with the Pelicans, they gave him all that money, but he had to come off the bench. And sometimes he started, but he wasn't the primary ball handler like he is now in Memphis. And if you put the ball in his hands, he can make decisions. Is he the Rondo, Chris Paul, John Wall passer? No. But if you can't stop the guy, he's going to make the right decision or he's going to score the basketball. And he's doing that even better now. The biggest difference was that he added that 3-point shot to now if you go underneath the screen, he can shoot over the top of the defense or get a switch onto a big man and just pop a three in his face because they take more time to reach out and attempt to close out. It's harder for them to close out after they screen and they get switched, so they got to hurry up and try to get out. But they so slow because they big, and he getting a lot of space because a lot of teams are sagging off of him in the pick and roll and forcing him to take the three. Because they rather have him take a three than obviously pass to a teammate that's rolling to the basket or have him get all the way to the basket. So with that being said, he actually was able to adjust to the NBA, which is now you got to have a 3-point shot. And most of the point guards are scoring point guards, even though he was one of those coming into the league, that he was more of a scorer than a facilitator. Tyreke Evans has very mature, well balanced way to play. He's not really a force thing player. He's not really gonna try too hard to do stuff. He's a guy that he's gonna make the right simple play. If that makes sense, he makes the right simple play. He doesn't try to force anything. He doesn't try to get caught up in the air. He doesn't try to make something out of nothing. He just, if I can score, I'm going to try to finish. And if I can't, I'm going to try to dump it off to Gasol, or in the pick and roll, I'm going to come down that screen. If they sag off, I'm going to pull up the three. If they don't, I'm going to hit Marc Gasol. I'm going to pass it out to the corner for people like Ben McLemore and Mario Chalmers, and I won't trust them to make shots. But I told you guys that this was a good pickup, like I was saying in the beginning. This was an excellent pickup because he adds offense and he adds a dimension that they never really had, which means if even if Mike Conley does play, now that we see that he can knock down the three ball consistently, that adds another weapon for them when Mike Conley comes back and get healthy, and he can play the two because he, like I said, he did it on other rosters. But it's good to see him have the ball in his hands and go back to playing what made him as good as he ever been. And right now, he's averaging his second highest point total in the season, which is 19 points a game, and he's giving you only 1.9 turnovers at that compared to the three that he averaged as a rookie and a sophomore. Not only he's still giving you the 4 assists and the 5 rebounds, but he's shooting 81% from the free throw line, 40% from three on 5 attempts. So it ain't like he's shooting 1 3 a game, 2 3 a game. He's hoisting up a lot of threes and he's making it at a above average 3 point shot. And to put that into context, he only shot over 40% twice in his career, but one of those seasons he only played less than 40 games, and he was able to shoot that 40% with the Kings when he got back there. But it was only 20 something games that he did that, and he shot 30% with the Pelicans. So he really didn't shoot super crazy going to the Memphis Grizzlies, but he never been known as a 3 point shooter anyway, and that's strides of greatness if you can improve one of your biggest weaknesses, which is shooting. But even with Ben McLemore, I thought that the Grizzlies needed more offense. They needed more athleticism. They was going away from the grit and grind. They let Marc Gasol go. They let Tony Allen go. And they went with people that can, space out the floor, shoot the three, come off screens. They got more movement, more pace now. And Mike Conley hasn't, to me, had a good season even when he was playing. Something was going on with him. I don't know if he lost his confidence, if the defense got used to what he did, because he caught off a lot of people off guard last year with the season that he had. I don't know if teams got used to him, if they adapted to how he was playing, but he just really struggled. He couldn't make a jumper. He couldn't really score that much. And he was really embarrassed himself because he just got that contract extension too. And this year was a bad one for him. Even if he comes back, the season is almost over at this point because it's about to be January when he comes back after that. So the team done dig themselves a hole. But I'm glad that Tyreke Evans has shown that he can still be a starting point guard in this league, a primary decision maker, and that he worked on his 3 point shot and became more of a well-rounded offensive guy than just a guy that's just gonna pick and roll and shoot mid-range jumpers and get to the paint. Now he has more versatility in his role because he can play off the ball, get the corner threes and the spot up threes, and he can, if he gets it going like you're saying now that they're gonna respect his jumper, he can just beat him off the dribble, create something for himself or for somebody else, and that just makes the team harder to guard in general when you have a player that can impact the game in multiple ways and make it easier on his teammates and himself. And it's all because of that improved 3 point shot. But the question I want to know, do y'all think that Tyreke Evans have enough to be a starter? Because people was talking about get rid of Gasol, get rid of Conley. And if they do that, they still have Chalmers, they still have Ben McLemore on the contract. Do you think that they're like, hey, we got Tyreke Evans, he's on a decent contract, and we have a chance to bring him back? Do you go with Tyreke or do you stay with Conley? And he has that hard contract to trade anyway, especially because he's been playing bad. Or do you just be like, hey, we just gonna stick with Conley and they can leave next season anyway, Tyreke and Ben McLemore, and let's just keep trying to rebuild around Marc Gasol and Mike Conley while they're still in their early 20s and 30s. So I don't know. I think the Grizzlies should blow it up. I've been saying that for years because they wasn't good enough to win a championship. But if you make the playoffs, you always have a chance, and they've been able to do that. Besides this year, best part about this year is the blessing in disguise that they might get a top 10 pick that can help change the fortune and add another piece around Marc Gasol and Mike Conley, which can probably help them in the future if they can find a guy. Because like right now, Chandler Parsons was one of their highest paid players. He hasn't played up to that contract. He playing decent now, but he hasn't played up to the money that he got. Marc Gasol, his numbers are starting to climb. And then you also got Mike Conley, who got paid all that money, had a good season that was worth it last year. This year, he's always injured. He always beat up. And on top of that, you don't really know what you're going to get when he comes back. And if he does come back, y'all basically dug a big hole right now at this point that it might not even be worth breaking him back. And you might just get a pick, but that might frustrate Marc Gasol because he's trying to win right now. And that puts you in the position where we don't know where we really want to go. But right now, it's looking like we're going to rebuild. Even though they try to rebuild with these two players on the fly, it don't seem like it's working out right now. And that's just being honest. But I just want to talk about Tyreke Evans. He's having a fantastic season. He has showed strides of improvement, better versatility. I think this is only going to help his career because teams going to see this guy. They're going to see his jump shot. They're going to see him scoring 19, almost 20 points a game still. And they're going to want him a part of their teams. And he's going to cash in on it just like he did with the Pelicans. The guy is a versatile player. The guy is a solid defender. He's a big body. And he can create and handle that ball and get to anywhere he wants to on the court. And that's something that you need in this today's offense. And every point guard wants to be a scorer at this time too. And he does that. Plus, he's not really even that old. Obviously, he's 28. So he's going to be 29 starting the next season. So you still got a good 3-4 years out of him. And if he can continue to add that jumper, even in the mid-range area, a little bit better, he's going to be even harder to guard. It's funny that he ended up getting back on top of his game during the ending of his career. And now he has a chance to extend his career because he added that three-point shot. Let me know what you guys think. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis signing out. Check out my YouTube, on my Facebook account, AnalysisPlayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Also, check out my website, AnalysisPlayground.com. And if you're on Facebook, my YouTube will be pinned on my Facebook page, and so will my website. And if you're on Twitter, you click the link, it'll automatically send you to my YouTube. Like, subscribe, and check out my YouTube account and on my website. It'll be on my Twitter main page. It'll be pinned there, and my website will be in the description. I'm out. Let me know what you guys think about Tyreke Evans, and I'm glad to be back making videos for you guys.